Hey guys, how's it going? Michael Troy here. Today we are looking at Boof #1, a Todd McFarlane creation from Image Comics by Beau Smith and John Cleary, one of the best Todd McFarlane clones in history. Can't wait to show this to you. It's a really fun book. It's kind of crazy, bonkers, but whatever. It's Image Comics from the 90s. What would you want but that, correct? Anyway, I'm going to cue the intro. Hit subscribe, hit like, and I'll be right back.
FitzTroytv, comic book art critiques. Snark, talk, and sarcastic ways. Levels and geeky gaze. Aliens, comics rule the day. Hurry up and turn that page. Michael Fitz Troy.
Okay, so I can imagine I picked this up because of the similarity to Todd McFarlane's art. I mean, I think that if you casually walk past this on the comic book stand, in the spinner rack at 7-Eleven, sorry, I just got out of a time machine. Anyway, I don't think Image Comics was ever probably in a spinner rack at a 7-Eleven, but too bad about that. Anyway, like I was saying, like, out of the corner of my eye, I would definitely think this was Todd McFarlane. And so his name's John Cleary, and he's a Todd McFarlane clone. And this is Boof. And I was trying to do a little research on this. I don't really remember, like, the whole shtick behind it. But Todd McFarlane basically created this. I think he wanted a more, like, fun, like, sort of flip side to Spawn, like a more kid-friendly sort of, I don't know, character, and didn't have time to draw it, of course, because he was making Spawn, and found this guy, John Cleary, who apparently he just, like, approached him out of the blue and asked him to draw this. And, of course, if you're a Todd McFarlane clone, and when I say clone, I mean an artist who emulates another artist and, you know, pretty much copies their style. It sounds like a slam, but it's more like comic book jargon, in my opinion. I think a lot of great artists started out as clones and then became great artists in their own right. And sometimes that means developing a completely different style. When Brian Hitch started, he was very much like an Alan Davis clone, and I think he's definitely a fine artist in his own right who evolved. I mean, I think that sometimes artists just learn how to draw by copying their favorite artists, and then, you know, that only goes so far. And sometimes you do stay within that, but even if you do try to stay a clone or whatever, like, it becomes your version of that person, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds crazy, but some of my favorite artists are clones, and it's like we love them because they do emulate and copy. I'm like, come on, that is like so Todd McFarlane right there, so how could you not love it? It's definitely more cartoony, and I think that's by design. Story by Beau Smith, art by John Cleary, letters by Tim Harkins, colors by Gary Leach, Susan Leach, cover colors, Ollie Optics, Steve Olive, colorist of Spawn. And I believe this is a Todd McFarlane creation. Wanted something like a little more Saturday morning appeal. And I don't know, I don't know, Beau Smith wrote this, and it's definitely got a lot of, like, potty humor, and I don't know, that just seems a little lowbrow to me sometimes. Like, he's talking about the dog giving him a golden shower, and then, like planting fudge in the yard, and, like, I don't know. I'll get to that in a second. But it's really gross out humor. And I don't know. I just think, like, of course kids are going to think that's funny in a way. But, like, don't underestimate them either. I mean, there's a lot of clever kids' humor without, like, scraping the bottom of the barrel. Unless that's what they were going for. I mean, this is probably around the time of Beavis and Butthead. And gross out humor was probably a little more timely, for lack of a better word. But look at this art. This is so great. Like, I just love how, like, the inking and the just like the lines and the textures that he uses are so precise and so dead on, like kind of a ripoff of clone of Todd McFarlane. Definitely more in the cartoony vein. And Todd actually looks very cartoony a lot, you know, with his facial expressions and the way he draws eyes and stuff. So this is pretty, very accurate. Like, I mean, he's very good at copying Todd McFarlane's style. And it's interesting because this house looks very just like cartoony. This, I was thinking when I was looking at this earlier that it very much looks like if Todd McFarlane were doing like a comic strip, and like this was like the Sunday Funnies or something version of Todd McFarlane. And I think that's might be what they were kind of going for. Now, I'm sure that maybe just a pinup or something, but I know I've seen John Cleary's art before, maybe a Spawn pinup. It would have been kind of cool if Marvel would have tapped him to do Spider-Man, and maybe he did, I don't know. But I'm not sure what else he did other than this Boof. And I think it lasted for like 6 issues, amazingly enough. Like, I don't even know if I got the whole series. I know I have this issue here, but this is where he like tricks the dog. It looks evil AF, is like tricking him into eating literal shit. And I thought that was like, wow, really? Okay. Anyway, I don't know if it's just didn't hold up well and it was just fantastic back in the day, but I just thought it was low-hanging fruit, to be honest with you. The story wasn't that great or compelling enough to bring me back. Like, I don't feel like this Boof character, he looks super cool, and I can definitely see his appeal, his commercial appeal, but I don't know, maybe if Todd McFarlane himself had written it, it might have turned out differently or something, I don't know, but I think it kind of lost its path. You know, you can't rely on potty humor alone. You have to have a little more, I don't know, just give us something to sink our teeth into. Aside from this gorgeous art, I really love this freaking art. See, even the credits are a little gross. Todd McFarlane, Fudge Pumper, and Terry Fitzgerald, Fudge Scooper. Yuck. This looks like, I'm sure Todd McFarlane created this character too, the dog catcher, because he looks like so imaged up, and like he's got like Spawn bracelets and just like, you know, like the leg bands with the pouches on them and a bunch of chains and all that stuff. And I thought if anybody could design a cool dog catcher, it's definitely Todd McFarlane for sure. Like, I don't even know if Todd Toys has made like a character, like an action figure of that, but get on it. Like, Boof would be a fun action figure. Bring back Boof. Maybe this video will renew interest in Boof. What was I gonna say? There's certain aspects that are definitely, like, it's just kind of amazing how committed he is to like copying McFarlane's style. This is the panel I was looking for, because these silhouettes are definitely, like, I feel sort of, if McFarlane didn't create it himself, just like sort of a signature thing he does, where they are silhouettes, but you still see aspects of the, you know, their figures, and the sort of represents a little bit of lighting or something. And that's something right there totally, like, indistinguishable from, like, Todd McFarlane could have drawn that. So now I'm kind of interested in finding some more John Cleary art outside of Boof, because I think obviously it's perfect for this, you know, and that's what he was hired to do. But I kind of like to see something else. So I guess it was made for kids, and maybe that's why it's a little out of my grasp. I don't know. Anyway, this is a little preview of another Boof series that supposedly, I don't know if that happened or not, but this one's even more aimed at kids, I suppose. And plot Beau Smith and Tim Harkins, who apparently was a letterer at DC Comics and also a cartoonist, graduate of the Kubert School, who co-wrote this with Beau Smith, and then also did the art and letters. And Todd McFarlane, master of all he surveys. Hilarious. Anyway, that's cute. Like, I like that. Like, definitely fitting in with the Sunday Funnies kind of vibe. Which, you know, I don't know. I like it in the Sunday Funnies, but it's never appealed to me when that sort of thing sort of happens in a comic book, if that makes sense. But anyway, so that's Boof. Totally fun. Oh, might as well look at the fan art. I was hoping to see, like, names of people I knew, but I don't know. These are just, like, cool fan art. People. I love that, you know, since Image is such an art-focused comic book line and, you know, just really heralded this great era of art and artists, and I'm sure it, no pun intended, spawned a lot of amazing artists and gave birth to the Image era of artists. So it's all cyclical, baby. Violator. Number 3, too bad Greg Capullo took over, I think, with issue 3, because the first 2 issues were drawn by Bart Sears, and I really loved that. But, I mean, who's going to complain about Greg Capullo's art? Like, that looks freaking amazing. And Wildstar, love that. Al Gordon, Jerry Ordway, such a great book. Bring it back, guys. Todd McFarlane doing Spawn, cool. Chapel. He was totally tied into Spawn's origin, which is so weird. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Boof, number 1. John Cleary. Very cool. Todd McFarlane, inspired artist. Totally worth checking out if you see it in the dollar bin. Maybe it's worth more than that. I don't know. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe to my channel, hit like, share my content, and I'll bring you some more later. Thanks, guys.